Welcome to Let's Talk Business with Laura Nowlin and Dr. Cobian. Dr. Cobian couldn't be here today, but hey, I have my co-host here, Saul Ramos with the SBA. He's the district director for the state of Nevada. So welcome, Saul.
Thank
How
you.
Are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, great new year.
Great new year, 2024. Can you believe it?
I know. It's like it's gone. 2023 is completely gone.
Yeah.
Can't relive it.
No, it's gone.
Hey, so you're with the SBA, Saul. Tell me a little bit, what is the SBA?
Sure. So the Small Business Administration is what it stands for, the SBA. It's a federal agency. Actually, one of the only federal agencies that 100% of our mission is to help small businesses. And we do it in many different ways, right? We do it through, and part of our mission is to help businesses start, grow, expand, and recover. I think a lot of people that were out there that did not know about SBA probably got to see us throughout the pandemic.
Right.
And that's the recovery piece that we played, right, throughout the pandemic. Now, historically, we help businesses with, again, growing, expanding. And the way that we do it is through access to capital. We have a huge network of lenders. Now, one thing to remember is that we're not a direct lender. We're not.
Right. You're not directly lending the money. But...
No. Throughout the pandemic,
Yes.
we were acting like it. So I think that's what probably caused a little bit of confusion for those folks that did not know about the SBA. But we're not a direct lender. We guarantee the loan. And that's where we work hand in hand with the huge network of lenders that we have. And then business development, counseling, technical assistance. That's a very, very, very important piece that we play. And I think you have been a recipient of some of our counseling programs.
Absolutely, yes. I was in the Emerging Leaders program and then also in the Thrive program.
Right. And I think you also had an opportunity to work with SCORE.
Yes,
So
I
SCORE,
work with SCORE, SBDC.
Yes. So all those acronyms, let me explain. So SCORE is they are, many of them, I would say, are retired volunteers. Many of them were executives. They own their own business, and now they're volunteering. It's a way for them to pay forward and share all that wealth of knowledge, that expertise. So that's one of the partners that we have. We call them resource partners. Then we also have a women business center that focuses specifically on women entrepreneurs. Now, as the director would probably say, although it says women business center, it's open to everyone.
Yes,
right?
yes, they don't discriminate.
They don't discriminate, exactly. Then we have what's called the Small Business Development Center, which is what you mentioned, SBDC.
Yes.
And those are relationships that we have with the University of Las Vegas, with the University of Reno, and they too provide counseling technical assistance. Now, I'm proud to say that those were historically the three partners that we had, and last year we added another one. It's called the Veteran Business Outreach Center, known as VBOC.
Yes.
Though they focus on the veteran community. So in essence, all these four come together and provide the counseling, the technical assistance from at any level that you may be in your business, whether it's you have an idea, you're trying to put a business plan together, or you already have a business and you're looking at ways to grow. So they can review your business plan, they can help you draft a business plan, they can do market research, they can help you what's called do the loan packaging so that you can go after capital. So there's so much value in speaking to one of these partners. And the beauty of it is that it's free.
No, definitely. And so it's our tax dollars actually paying for these services, so we definitely need to take advantage of them. And yes, I started first with SCORE, went with the Women's Business Center, got my first loan from, at that time, it was actually not from the Women's Business Center, I got it from Accion. Then I was able to get a loan from the Women's Business Center. But no, the SBA has been a complete supporter for me and my journey as an entrepreneur. You guys have been a blessing. You really have. Now, Saul, you've been with the SBA for how long now?
So here in Las Vegas, going on 5 years, and prior to that, I was in Los Angeles for about 2 years. So 7 with the SBA, and going on 21 years with the federal government. I used to work with another federal agency.
Very nice. And then I like it that you're bilingual. So you're able to speak Spanish, hablas español, and so you're able to help that community out there that doesn't speak English. So I really like that we're able to have some representation here, the Latinos, and what best, the district director, you're in charge of the whole state of Nevada, correct?
Yes. Well, thank you for that.
No, yes. And so let's go back a little bit with SCORE. What is the best way if someone wanted to get in touch with SCORE and get the counseling services? Would it be a phone number that they dial, a website that they go to? What would you recommend is the best way to go to SCORE?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the best way is probably start with the website.
Okay.
And under SBA.gov, so you go to SBA.gov, and then you'll find a tab that says Counseling or Resource Partners. On that tab, then you select it, and then you pretty much select your zip code and so forth. It's going to give you a list for you to select the resource partners, one of them being SCORE. So on there, you'll find the website. Of course, you can always go to Google and type in SCORE SBA Las Vegas. Make sure you're going to SCORE SBA Las Vegas, and you know that would be another good place. And start looking at all the valuable information that they have on their website. You'll be surprised of how much resources are available online. So the fact that you're visiting the website is going to educate you on what resources they have available. And towards the very bottom, you'll find their phone number, but you're more than welcome to reach out to our district office as well, because this is part of the relationship and partnership. So our phone number is 702-388-6611. 702-388-6611, and you can also email us to our mailbox, which is NVDO, N as in Nancy, V as in Victor, D as in dog, O as in Oscar, at SBA.gov, and we'll be glad to make those introductions, or you might even speak to one of our representatives from SBA that can provide you additional information.
And right now in SCORE, you guys have someone who speaks Spanish and English as well, or any other languages. What languages are they speaking right now?
Sure. So right now what we have is we do have some counselors that speak Spanish and of course English. However, any language we should be able to support, because the beauty about SCORE is that they too are a national representation. SBA is a national representation for the fact that we're a federal agency. So what I'm speaking of here today, most likely you will find very similar in other states. So SCORE, being under the umbrella of SBA, have relationships with other states and so forth. So language shouldn't be a barrier. We should be able to assist in any language. As a matter of fact, we were helping earlier this, I think it was earlier this year. I know it's just been 2 weeks, but even before that, deaf and hard of hearing individuals that were working with SCORE.
No, that's amazing. And as you heard, that it's pretty much offered throughout the whole United States, the service. Me taking advantage of SCORE, I remember going in there with, here's my idea, here's what I'm trying to do. And when I spoke to my my business coach, right, the counselor, he was pretty much, okay, we're not going to schedule another meeting. And I was a little upset. I'm like, what do you mean this man doesn't want to schedule another meeting with me? And he goes, yeah, just go do it. And I'm like, what does he mean? Just go do it, right? And so then I said, I'm going to show him. So I started the business, and then when I saw him again, I go, look, I started the business. He goes, I knew you can do it. He goes, you just needed that push. He goes, you already had the experience of staffing. You just needed that push. Go and just do it, because if not, you're just going to continue going in circles.
Yeah. You know, it's so interesting that you share that, because a lot of folks may come in thinking that they're going to do it for you, but they are not going to do it for you. In fact, they're going to give you homework assignments for you to go back and really assess, because the end result, or what we're looking for, is for the business owner to succeed, to come prepared. And I'll share a quick story. You're a perfect example of benefiting from SCORE and many of the partners. Last year, one of our Small Business of the Year persons, her name is Juani Romero, was also a recipient of SCORE. And we're talking about 15, 18 years ago that she walked through the doors of SBA and met with someone with SCORE. And guess what? That counselor also gave her assignments back to back. But the beauty of it, as you mentioned, is that you all completed those assignments, if we would call them, and that started you on the path that you wanted to. And they also provide honest feedback, because sometimes it's hard hearing that this may or may not work. So all those, if you could call them assignments or guidance or mentorship, because that's in essence what it becomes, a mentorship, has allowed, in this case and in your case, the path to growth. For Juani Romero, 15, 18 years ago, she started as a barista with that dream and vision, and now she's up to five stores but it started with that, taking that first step, whether it be SBA or any other resources.
Yeah, I hope to actually have her on our show because she has more than just the coffee shops. She actually is even in the Walmarts with her product.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she has quite a bit of a line that she's also selling her product.
Fantastic. And just like you, she's also an Emerging Leaders or Thrive recipient. So that's another great program that we have.
Right. So let's talk a little bit about those classes as well. When is your next enrollment?
Well,
and how do they enroll?
Yes. So the way that you enroll is, again, reaching out to our office would be the first step. We usually launch it. I think this year we might launch it if we get funding, because all this is funding. It's going to be probably in April or May.
Okay.
And so what it is, you could call it a fellowship program or a mini MBA program. And it's for businesses that are seasoned, that have been around for at least 2 or 3 years, are generating more than, I think, 150,000. Nevertheless, it's for seasoned businesses that are looking to grow and scale their business. The end result, or what you get out of it, is a 3-year growth plan.
Right.
A 3-year growth plan that you will implement and not just leave it on the table and let it collect dust. Because the other value of it is that it's a small group of about 20 individuals that come together, and you end up creating an incredible relationship and support network amongst them. I think you probably still keep in touch with some of your alumni and or alumni that were not in your class.
Yeah, we actually had coffee today.
Oh, fantastic.
So we had coffee today and a round table, and it was just really exciting to get feedback on how we can support each other. So that's one thing that you get that's, I think, in every single class, is that networking,
Right.
that you're able to get around other business owners that are going through the same challenges that you could be going through.
Right.
That, so it's a great help. But we're going to go ahead and go to commercial, and we'll be right back. Okay, Saul?
You love it.
Introducing See Us Now Staffing, led by yours truly, Laura Nowlin. As the founder and president, I bring over 17 years of expertise in sourcing for talent, building winning teams of professionals, marketing, and workforce development. At See Us Now Staffing, we're not just a staffing agency. We're your strategic partner in building a winning team of professionals for your business. My passion for community service extends to connecting entrepreneurs with local resources. Recognized by the Small Business Administration as the 2022 Nevada Family-Owned Business of the Year, we're not just changing the workforce landscape, we're defining it. Welcome back to Let's Talk Business with Laura Nowlin and Dr. Covian. And who is my co-host here is Saul Ramos with the SBA. So welcome again.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about the misconception, right, of the SBA, the Small Business Administration, that you guys are not a bank. You're not loaning, but you are guaranteeing the loan.
Yes. That's a good question, because the majority of the time, folks will go to a bank and they'll see the SBA logo, or they'll say it's, and as a matter of fact, the banks have those SBA logos, and many of them are what's called preferred lender providers,
Right.
which means that they have been, if you could say, vetted by SBA. So a lot of their underwriting happens in-house. So and those tend to have that SBA logo. Now, yes, we get calls where they say, okay, how much money can you provide me? And that's the thing. We're not.
Right.
We're not a direct lender. The few times that we do become a direct lender is when there's ever a natural disaster, or as in the last few years, the pandemic. SBA steps into that role as a direct lender, and that was that economic injury disaster loan, that EIDL, which, as a matter of fact, if you have not made your payments, please note that the EIDL was a loan, and you would have to make the payments. There was about a 3 or 2.5 year deferment. Some people that did not make those payments are now starting to come due, so it's important that you please make those payments.
Yeah, and I just want to share, when you're default on those type of loans, it's worse than a bankruptcy. It will never leave you.
Yeah,
Right?
you want to pay attention. And again, if you have any questions, or if you're in doubt whether or how to make those payments, reach out to our office, 702-388-6611, 702-388-6611, or send us an email at nvdo@sba.gov. So going back to the that we're not a direct lender.
Right. I think a best comparison would be that you guys are very similar to HUD, right? And with the FHA loans, all they're doing is basically they're insuring the bank that if they don't pay, that your insurance is going to kick in. Is that correct?
Yes, in essence, and we call it a guarantee.
Right.
So with SBA loans, some the guarantee percentages could be at 75. Again, some even go up to 90%, like when they're exporting. And in doing so, we have, you could say, a relationship or an agreement with the bank. So the bank is the one who puts the money out.
Right.
SBA behind the scenes is working with the bank to offer that guarantee. Why is that important for the bank and why is it important for you as a borrower to know is because that guarantee is reducing the lender's risk. And that's the beauty of it. When a guarantee is reducing the lender's risk, we hope that the lender feels more comfortable putting that money out.
Right.
That's how it benefits the borrower. In the sense, it's putting money out to the community.
Yeah, so sometimes the small business owner, right, that doesn't have, like, they're not so, I guess, strong enough to be very bankable, right? They might be missing here or there, and so then that's when the bank will make some adjustments to the criteria because it's insured by the SBA.
Right, the flexibility,
Right.
flexibility, and remember, we're doing our best to mitigate or reduce that bank's risks, and the guarantee plays that role.
Right, everybody still has to pay the bill.
Yes, it's still a loan. It's still a loan. And
you
still
gotta
have
pay
to
it.
pay the money.
Yes,
Absolutely.
you definitely don't want to default on any of these loans, especially the idle loan.
Yes.
That one. So let's talk back about emerging leaders, and then I want us to talk a little bit about the SBA 8A. So emerging leaders is now, you guys renamed it to Thrive.
Right.
Is that correct? But what it is, it's a program that's an amazing program that gives you the tools that you need to be able to continue growing your business, to try to get you from not working so much in it, but actually working on it.
Yes.
And that's what I think I grasped more in the classes that I've taken, is that I had to learn how to not always be in it. Because if not, when as a business owner, if you constantly are putting yourself in the business, you're actually stopping it from growing. And I was just sharing that I am trying to this year that I'm going to work 3 weeks and then take 1 week off, whether I'm in a different city, whether I'm in a different country. I'll still be working on my business, but not really in it, right? And so to launch off January, I just got back from Texas. And while I was in Texas, my branch manager actually resigned his position. Okay, now if I was here locally, chances are I would have jumped into a seat, right, into his position to try to fix everything. But because I was in Texas and I couldn't just come back, I literally had to really empower my team. If I put everyone in place, then the business should be able to still continue to flow. Let me tell you, it was so much better that I was gone opposed to actually being here. I think that this is why I'm able to even do this interview, right? Because the team is in place.
Right.
For a disaster to happen, I don't have to be here anymore in order for that business to run. So let me tell you, that's a big success story, from learning this in Emerging Leaders.
No, I love it, and it is. It's a great success story, and it actually reminds me of a quote. I was speaking to the team earlier. There's a quote out there that says that the best way to improve your team is to improve yourself. So in essence, it's taking that step back, because once you improve yourself and you set the operations correctly, it should be able to flow. But yes, we've been very fortunate that we have 2 cohorts, and by that I mean 2 groups, one in Las Vegas and one in Reno for the last 2 years. And they've been able to benefit from all the resources, because part of the Emerging Leaders or Thrive, whichever way you decide to call it, is that program is that it offers different modules in which you are going to be developing and growing, from financing, from marketing, from your structure. And what SBA does is that they will bring in a coach that's going to follow a curriculum, and they're going to be there side by side helping you. So that's one of the benefits. I go back to the largest benefit that we see and the feedback that we received are those relationships that are created amongst the group. That's where I think the real value, that's where the real magic happens, in the sense that they're sharing best practices.
Right.
They're able to put, if you could say, their guard down and say, hey, yes, I am the CEO, but I'm struggling with my financials. I'm not quite understanding it. Or, I need help with marketing. And that's where you see a lot of the great synergy, a lot of that magic happen. And going back to what you mentioned, taking a step back and really working on yourself.
Right. And then being with a group of CEOs and being real, right? Because I remember when I first took the Emerging Leaders class, and I remember probably on my third class, I had to basically introduce my business and my challenges. And I'm telling you, I broke down and I started crying. Mm-hmm. And you know what the instructor said? Thank goodness, because this is what we need. We need you guys to be real. Yeah. And so because I was so open about it, it really helped the whole class to now open up. We're this great business, but in all reality, here are my challenges that I'm having, and I need help. Help me resolve this. Yeah. And so I really like that about it, because it's kind of like a mastermind group. Yeah, it really is.
It is. And how much did it cost?
My time.
Your time.
My time, that was it. And tax dollars, right? That's what's paying for it. So you wouldn't be able to join a mastermind group for free. Yeah, they're very expensive.
And I asked that question because we truly are committed to helping the businesses. And we want to make sure that if you are applying or thinking of applying for the program, that you're committed. You're committed to growing your business. You're committed to you growing, but you're also committed to the team that's going to be there, because I go back to the biggest value and the support network. This year, well, let me take that back. I'm still in 2023. Right. So in 2023, we graduated a class of, I believe, 24. And I have to say we're extremely proud of them, because I go back to the commitment. This group ended up being at a national level, the top 5 of them completing their coursework, they're completing their assignments. They just stepped up tremendously, and we also had an incredible coach that led the way. So I go back to, you want to surround yourself with an amazing group, and this is one way of doing it. And if you don't do it this way, that's fine, but just know the value and the benefit, whether it's SBA or other. There's many other programs as well out there. And coincidentally enough, we end up playing, and I use the word playing off of each other, because some of our recipients from Thrive or Emerging Leaders have also participated in other local programs, leadership programs. So they continue to sharpen their skills.
Oh yeah, every single year I go and look to see what classes can I take. Sometimes I even take 2 in 1 year.
Well, that's
that's
brave.
But it just helps me so I can continue developing and growing. Let's talk a little bit about the SBA 8A program for government contracting.
Yeah, you bet. If you're not aware, the federal government is one of the world's largest buyers. Right? They buy everything that you could think of, from products and services. And what the government does is that they set aside contracts for small businesses. So there's a percentage that the government is setting aside for small businesses. Within that bucket of small businesses, then there's another percentage that gets set aside for the 8A program, which we'll talk a bit more, for women-owned small businesses, for the service-disabled veterans, and then for another one that we called Hub Zone. So those 4 programs fall under the SBA umbrella, and it's part of the government setting aside contracts, again, for small businesses. The 8A program ends up being a 9-year business development program in which you have to meet these eligibility requirements. There's an application, there's a process, there's what's called that certification process that you have to go through. And you would have to go through any of those that I mentioned, whether it be 8A, women-owned, service-disabled veteran, or Hub Zone. So it's a process that you go through. And the eligibility requirements in the 8A is that you're socially economically disadvantaged. It has been going through some changes, but nevertheless, just know that there's a program that sets aside contracts for small businesses. Under the SBA, one of those programs is called 8A. I go back to, it's a 9-year business development. You'll be working with someone closely in the district offices. And the idea is that we groom you so that you can compete for federal contracts. I mean, so let me stop there. I'm sure you probably have questions or.
Yeah, so where can you go to get more information on that? It would be the website. Is that where they should start?
Yes, so you can go to www.sba.gov. So www.sba.gov. You can search the 8A program. As a matter of fact, there would be a tab that says government contracting there. The one that we discussed earlier, I think, says resource partners for counseling. But there's different tabs. The one you want to focus on to learn more about it is government contracting. There you'll find videos, you'll find YouTube videos, you'll find literature. You can certainly always reach out to our district office to learn more. Remember, the idea of government contracting is to help your business grow.
Right.
I will say that government contracting is not for startup businesses because you are dealing with government, and the government has, of course, very large requirements and expectations, if you would call it, to be able to supply to the government. But yeah, you can reach out to us, 702-388-6611, 702-388-6611, or email us at nvdo@sba.gov. That's N as in Nancy, V as in Victor, D as in Dog, O as in Oscar, @sba.gov.
I can sit here and talk to you for hours, but unfortunately we ran out of time. So I do want to let you know where you can actually catch the show is WWDBTV.com, Roku, CS Now Staffing social media platforms, and Balance Salud y Vida social media platforms. For any questions, you may reach out to CS Now Staffing at 702-902-2448. And once again, thank you so much for tuning in and watching. And thank you so much, Saul, for joining us.
My pleasure. I'm glad. Thank you for inviting me.
All right, and Happy New Year's.